the first State of the Shop with Music City Vintage. I'm your host, Cullen Audrey, and we've got with us Trey and Justin.
Hello.
Hello. Why did you wave like that?
You gotta wave to the camera. I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
So we'll be kind of going through a couple things like...
Just wave.
All right, we can all wave. You want to wave on three?
No, we're good. I'm just joking.
We'll be going through kind of State of the Shop, updates with what's going on, what's upcoming, kind of where we've been in the past quarter and a half or so, and then kind of get to some of your questions that you guys submitted through the email listserv. So let's just start off with the easy one. How are you guys doing? What have you guys been up to lately?
I've just downed about 4 sandwiches and about 2 bags of chips, so I'm feeling really nice.
Just vibing it out. Cool, calm, collected.
Cool, calm, and collected.
Too many sandwiches.
Too many sandwiches?
Too many.
Oh, mini, not many.
Not full grade sandwiches. That'd be pretty rough.
So like looking through some of the questions that people had asked, one of the things that they had asked is where does vintage clothing stand in fashion today? Is it still influential, and are you seeing it still kind of in the streets? Are people still wearing vintage, or is it kind of redundant and overdone at this point, in your guys' perspective?
In my opinion, it's alive and well. I think the nice thing is we're starting to get to this point of openness between just different types of fashion. So people are wearing vintage fashion with streetwear. People are wearing vintage fashion and dressing up. So I think it's opening up to be more than just hype, in a sense. So I think it's gonna be here for a long time, and I think it's doing really well.
I like it. Yeah, I do agree with the vintage for sure. I feel like sneakers is definitely like dialed back. I feel like over the years we've been like, especially this year, I feel like people have realized that we've been kind of oversaturated with sneakers. So I think kind of people have been really kind of dialing in on like getting more unique and just kind of like being okay with like different sneakers in general. So like, you know, I think there's a big move where everyone's kind of switching to just kind of standard shoes. I mean, I'm wearing Chucks. Of course, you're wearing Nikes, but like people are okay without getting the hype sneaker and kind of just getting more regular shoes.
So do you see that as kind of the new norm or as the new trend? Kind of like normal, non-hype stuff?
That's a good question. I mean, I think there will definitely be another time where hype comes back into play somehow, some way. But I don't necessarily think it's a trend. No, I think people are kind of getting okay with like I said, wearing normal sneakers and just being okay with like expressing themselves with normal shoes, but vintage apparel, dope, unique pieces still. I think it's here to stay, personally.
I really think that it's really off the back of kind of like this New Balance wave, because like the New Balance wave was really just kind of built on just like solid, just normal, above normal sneakers in a sense. So like your runners and stuff like that, and there's a lot of them look very similar to just normal shoes. And so it's kind of like just kind of ticking over where it's just like the normal shoes now look just like the kind of the more popular shoes. So like the Romeros, they just look like a normal runner shoe if you don't know shoes. So it's kind of just like the normal shoes that are popular, or kind of like the hits that right now are kind of like just look like normal shoes in a sense. So it's kind of like making people just be like, well, I can wear a normal shoe.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like people also went to like a lot of the same resale sneakers, no matter if you're here in Nashville or Dallas or wherever, and started seeing the same shoes everywhere they went. And that became a little too much.
Too much in terms of like losing individuality? Like it just kind of became, what's this next wave?
Yeah,
or?
It kind of just noticed like everything was like, when you go to a sneaker shop, you see like the last 6 months worth of like releases, and that just kind of seemed to be getting boring for people.
So do you
From
guys,
my perspective.
From your perspective. So for the shop, so is that going to change kind of what you guys carry shoe-wise and clothing-wise, or how are you guys going to kind of adjust to this, I guess, this new normal?
Yes. The new normal, in our business, you always have to be willing to change. And I think it's good because since no one's stuck on just like one silhouette, one model, you can always keep those classic ones that are always going to move, your Jordan 1s, your 3s, 4s, certain Air Force 1s. Those will always be staples, but like it also gives you the opportunity to show things that weren't during like this era of like we're just wearing Jordan 1s, Dunks, 4s and stuff like that. It gives you the opportunity to show some of the highlights that were missed over. And so being able to curate different, whether it's old collabs or just like different silhouettes or models that you just kind of overlooked because it wasn't a hype one. And we can like really show that now.
Yeah. I feel like it feels very 2019-ish for us. So if anyone has shopped like with us back in the day, I feel like our curation was very unique during that time, of course, where there's always like, definitely no matter what, still keeping like Nikes and Jordans and things of that nature, but they were more unique. You could still see stuff from like 2015 and 2018 and so forth. So I think it's kind of one of those things that like kind of realizes that, okay, well, getting unique sneakers and things that you don't see every day is definitely dope.
So to piggyback off of kind of you're mentioning unique and interesting things, when people bring things into you guys, what's the best way for people at home or just for people to just kind of have that knowledge of how rare is something or how do I value something when I'm bringing it in, or if it's even worth bringing it?
For us, I would say the three biggest ways to really check a sneaker's value is if it's pre-owned, I usually say eBay because you can actually see the sold listings on there, so you can see what people are asking for compared to what they're selling for. New, you always have StockX go to kind of show you different sales. Clothes is very hard because it's it can be region based, it can be city based, it varies so wildly just depending on your audience.
Sometimes there's a piece there that you just don't know, and that's really like kind of the fun part, but also the tough part about being like into vintage and into this type of business where you simply just don't know. It's just kind of more of a feeling. There's sometimes we'll go back and forth in the back on a piece where like I think we should do 100, but someone says I think we can do it for 200, and we go back and forth. We end up putting it 200 and it sells. So it's kind of a tough thing that no matter what, like even we don't know. It's just like, because we just never know what we see. I know that's probably not the best answer, but it is a true thing where you just simply have to like kind of feel it, know your audience, and really just kind of like, does this piece speak to anyone or to yourself? Because sometimes what you like is what other people like, but some things you like and other people don't. So it's kind of a hard thing to kind of guess the price of vintage, to be honest. But
I guess. I mean, that makes sense. You have so many different eras, and you mentioned earlier, like, people are now mixing not only different eras, but different, I guess, levels of fashion. So to get an idea of what maybe only people that, let's say something like sneakers, where it was just maybe a certain segment is at a certain price point, but then you're mixing it with high fashion. Now they've got a lot more bread to spend. So maybe people are overspending or just willing to spend more for certain items. So that kind of makes sense, and it's hard to value, but just to kind of recap, circle back. So like eBay, those kinds of things are kind of the go-tos, at least for sneakers, and then to an extent, I guess clothes as well.
Yeah. And it even changes from marketplace to marketplace. Like you got Grilled, eBay, Depop. It's just a lot of different ones.
So another thing that people were asking about were events. I know like we're kind of in a dead space with winter and holidays and everything, but what events do you all have coming up for this year? I know you've got a lot in the pipeline right now for this quarter.
We do have a lot. We have a lot of things, like we really want this year to be about like evolution, but also adding value to people. So we have this thing coming up with Oranges Global that's benefiting a good cause. So here at the beginning of next month, we'll be releasing the collection, and kind of like throughout the end of this month, we'll kind of showcase it. We want to do something with the exchange, so some sort of fun run thing. Me and Trey are big into exercise and getting us right. through health, so we have something coming up with that. But really just pushing more of this, adding value to what we're doing in the community, and also adding people actually in the community to like do things with us. Because there's a lot of dope creatives, a lot of dope businesses, and individuals as a whole that we feel like we should definitely highlight, and people should know about it and support it.
So to follow up that, you're talking about you have so many different creatives and so many people with different businesses and visions in Nashville. It's kind of like a creative hub. What kind of is a good signal for like what is a good collaboration, or what would make a great collaboration that you guys would like to do, or what qualities make that?
I think what makes a good collaboration is where both parties feel like they're coming out great. That's just the basic definition of it, I guess. But also trying to leave an impact and not just like making it about money or anything like that, but about actual like impacting the community, impacting followers, stuff like that, and really bringing value to whatever the collab is. Like even if it's just a collab, like we're out building trees for planting trees for the community.
Like building trees.
I don't know if you build trees.
That's some Minecraft right there. I haven't heard build trees.
But like just plant. There's so many different ways that collaborations can happen and to make a successful one. But I think at the core of it is just like making sure that the audience, for whoever it is for, actually enjoys it for what it's supposed to be.
Type. Is there anybody that you guys haven't collaborated with that you kind of want to collaborate with that you can talk about, I guess, this year?
Yeah. No, we have
Upcoming.
have a laundry list of stuff. I don't have it in front of me, but ones that come off top, we want to do something with Snapple. We want to do something with Dinos. Want to do something with some sort of Formula One. We're shooting everywhere, so it doesn't really matter. Liquid Death would be dope.
Shout out Liquid Death for sponsoring this, by the way.
That's facts. Yeah, I feel like there's a laundry list, but even people here in Nashville, like I think Denim Donna's super dope in what she's doing. She's doing like rework pieces, things of that nature. Want to do things with coffee shops. I think I'm a big coffee guy, so doing something with something like that. But just kind of like Patagonia is another one. I know I'm going on this whole laundry list now, but
that's fine. I asked for it.
Yeah, facts. But it's just a lot of different companies that it's dope and something that like we enjoy each and every day, even if it's like subconsciously. But just doing cool things and hopefully having some sort of impact to add value to the people who enjoy it. So,
do you want to add to that list?
That was a good list.
It was a great list.
Yeah, there's a lot of small businesses and people that we wanted to collab with. I know Artifact comes off the top of my head, but just that are like homies and stuff that people that you just want to support, that you see trying to make a difference in the community and make their own audience and stuff. So plenty of people.
Going back to the question list of what people had asked, what are some benefits and qualities from each other that are notable that you guys use to keep the business going and constantly improving? You guys talked about evolution. You guys expand on that a little bit?
Sure. So I feel like me and Justin balance each other out very well. Justin is very much will approach and talk to anybody. So he's good at handling a lot of the communication, setting up events similar to this, and different things like that. So I think if you want to talk to someone, Justin, then you're gonna.
He might talk to you first. It might be, hey bro, what's your name?
That's facts. I've seen you like 3 times. Let's go ahead and just tell me your name. Yeah, I think it's great. I mean, if you look at all these racks, Trey built all these racks. I didn't participate in none of that. So shout out to Trey for that. But yeah, I think we measure each other out. Like it definitely is dope. Trey's a good business partner in general, like especially when we started. We always knew that we wanted to do business together because at the end of the day, Trey is about business for sure, and has a good curation for vintage. So he's been doing all the collections and things of that nature, and really handling product very well. So he knows how to get a deal done, and try not to hurt people's feelings for sure.
Sometimes they get hurt.
Sometimes they get hurt though, but
Crack a few eggs.
usually it gets done. So a good thing.
So you mentioned kind of the curation. So I know you guys have done. Right now is soccer collection.
Yes.
So what upcoming curations do you guys have? Because this one was fire. Like, you had all the different jerseys, not just regular jerseys, but goalie jerseys, and then kind of some apparel that went along with it, and the whole setup in the corner. So like, what other ideas do you guys have? Because you did mention there's so many different ways you can go with vintage.
I like to keep some stuff in the tuck.
Yeah.
Probably the next one that we have coming up is a cool, just like a cool random one, Hawaiian shirts, you know. So that's what we're gonna do next, just bring Florida man to Nashville.
For the spring weather.
Yep, spring, summer, loud colors, vibrant. See how it goes.
I'm with it.
You want to tell them what the other one is?
Oh yeah, we got some camo pants. They're currently locked up somewhere, but we're gonna get them out so we can get them here. So doing the 50 or so camo pants coming up. So 50 plus, 50 something.
Let's see, other comments that people had asked. What does expansion look like for the shop, and how can your guys' impact go beyond Nashville? Or what is your aim to try to go beyond Nashville, if there is anything to go beyond Nashville?
Yeah, there's definitely beyond for Nashville. I feel like, you know, it's kind of a weird thing that still like 5 years we've been here. I feel like we still haven't scratched the surface really. I still feel like there's things that we should have done that we need to continue to, you know, expand upon. So I think definitely expansion can happen and will happen. But I think things just kind of have to like get honed in, and once again, like big on like evolution this year, which is kind of like the brand itself. So I think there's things that we can definitely do in Nashville, and I think that we are heading in that direction. We can hopefully add value. I don't want to say that 3 times, but
I don't know, value and evolution.
value
Those are
and
like
evolution is
the key notes.
Key top in my brain this year.
So what is it that you guys would want from us as the community to bring to the shop? Well, I know like here, there's people asking questions, there's ideas on that tip, but like, what else more would you like from the community? Because it can't just be from your guys is doing all the heavy lifting. Like the community also, I know that we want to help out too. Like anytime you guys have anything that you're asking for, I know everybody shows up and like tries their best to help. So is there anything specific that you guys are looking for or want feedback on, or questions even for the live, for the chat?
Yeah, 100%. So the first thing that goes to my mind, you ever watch a YouTube video?
Yeah.
What they say?
Subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe, share. You know, if we put out a questionnaire, fill out the questionnaires. It's just things to help us get better and like see what people are messing with, what people are not messing with. And that just helps us, you know what people want and like take their feedback in and kind of can make a better product and bring more value to them.
Yeah, I agree. That's definitely a tough thing because it's at the same time, it's like one of those things where like, right, it's kind of like one of those things where you're in it, you can't sometimes always see outside. So to Trey's point, getting outside feedback and like actually getting good feedback from people, even bad feedback's good, but good feedback on what we're doing, what people want to see. You know, of course, we can't please everyone, we can't do everything possible, but our core audience and our people that are messing with us, you know, we definitely want to make sure that we're doing the right things for them and doing things to help, you know, add value to Nashville as a whole. So, yeah, like, comment, subscribe, all that. But also, you know, let us know what you all want to see and, you know, how you all would like to help if needed. So,
where do you guys see you guys in the next 5 years? You think? That's like a typical interview question, but I still feel like it's a good one.
it is a great one.
It's a great question. We actually asked that in our interviews. I don't have an answer for you. Just expanding and really just trying to build the brand and build the business and provide value, honestly. We may not be in this location. We could be in multiple locations. We could just have one giant mall store. I don't know.
Hey, Rivergate's for sale.
Hey, maybe a little bit out the way.
That's facts.
Maybe a little.
That's facts. Yeah, I think definitely could see. I don't know if I want to say that. I could definitely see us going into a different name, if that makes sense. Not sunsetting MCV, but sunset in a way, where it's tough at the same time where we don't just exclusively do vintage. And of course, we're in Music City Vintage or Music City, but what happens when we expand? So I could definitely see us in some form or fashion converting into something different. That doesn't mean like a 100% difference, but
Like in addition to?
Yeah, in addition to, and just kind of evolving into a new thing. So, yeah. I felt like that was very cryptic, but
It was very mysterious.
yeah.
Like
that
I'm
type
intrigued.
stuff. Yeah, so we'll see how that goes.
I don't really have any more questions. Does anybody in the audience have questions? You got a question?
In the chat. I want to know.
Oh, we just got a question in the chat. The question is from Diamonds Are One of a Kind. If you move locations, what will you do with the MCV mural wall behind you guys?
Boy, we gonna cut this thing up and take it with us. What you mean?
Trey built that wall with his own 2 hands, like Bob the Builder.
I did not build this wall. But I will make sure I down build this wall and take it with us.
Yeah.
Unbuild it.
It's a good wall. I think we'd have to cut it into 3s or 4s and transfer it somehow. But yeah, we'll definitely bring it. Be a big wall. But we'll get a semi or something out.
That was a great question, Diamonds Are One of a Kind. We appreciate you. Drop some more questions in the chat, you guys.
We had another question in the interview or in the emails that said, the comment was, I think the shop is great, but I can only ever bring my guy friends as a lot of my girlfriends can't find stuff for them. Do you guys plan on expanding into women's vintage?
I'm excited that you asked. That has been probably our number one, I would say, most asked, most requested question. I'm here to tell you, we are working on it. We have a collection just for the women coming late next month. And then we hope to have a full women's section of the shop sometime in Q2.
Yeah. We want to get someone who can at the end of the day, we're definitely know what we want to do and definitely things of that nature, but definitely can see us collabing with somebody and bringing an actual woman-owned business vendor and have them curate a collection and continuously update it. So if there's anybody that you all can think of, let us know. That's one way you can help.
There you go.
Just let us know your favorite women's vintage vendor in Nashville, and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah. I'll leave it on the last question if there's no other questions in the chat. Not currently. Now it's been 5 years since you guys started. Started from the flea market, slinging clothes out the back of the trunk. What's one thing that you guys have learned since then that you would tell yourself 5 years ago?
I'd say definitely one of those things that things aren't always going to be just all hunky-dory. I think when we start, it's one of those things that you're kind of bright-eyed into it and you're like, oh, this is so da-da-da. But there's always going to be ebbs and flows with anything. I know that I definitely at the same time didn't see how far we could go. But I say the last thing would be just shoot for the moon for it. Even if that's a thing where there's nothing worse than hitting a 5-year goal and then not having a goal to replace that. So I would definitely say definitely shoot higher and further, because like I said, once you hit that one goal, it's damn, all right, so what's next? Here's another 5-year, 10-year goal, but it should have been higher.
It's fair.
I like it. That's really good. Mine would probably be, if I could go back 5 years and tell myself something, would be, you'll never regret betting on yourself. And that just goes to no matter what you choose to do in life, whether it's entrepreneur or you're an artist or thing, betting on yourself, you'll never look back and say, I wish I would have. Or I wish I would have made that jump, or I wish I would have did this. You'll never have that because you at least took that chance. So that's what I'll tell my 5-year-old son, or 5-year-old.
You're 5 years old.
5-year-old ago.
5-year-old 5 years ago.
5 years
Tell
ago.
them both.
I'd tell both of them.
5-year-old.
We got another question from the chat here. It says, have you guys ever thought about doing a customer rewards program?
Thank you. That's actually, I'm glad we stated this. This is half the reason why we started this whole thing. So yes, we actually do have a rewards point that we have not marketed, so I apologize for that. But we do have a rewards point. You, as a customer, if you have been shopping with us since the beginning of this year, you more than likely have some unused points. So definitely go online and check to see, because everyone has an account on our website. You just log in, use the same email address that you gave us in person, and on checkout you can be able to use the points. So
What can they use the points for?
they can use it on their entire order. So they can't use the points in store quite yet, but they can use all the points online. So as long as you are logged in and order online, you can also pick it up in store, and the points will be redeemed. So, but we do have a rewards point system from the start of this year.
How do they earn more points?
By spending money.
Spending money.
And if it's your birthday, you get some points, and I think there's a welcome bonus points too. So, yeah. I don't know the numbers breakdown off top though. I think it's like every $20 you spend, you get $1 off or something of that nature.
Yeah. So for every $1 you spend, you get 100 points. And then for every 1,000 points is considered $1. Every 1,000 points is considered $1 off your next order. So for every $20 you spend, you will get $1 off your next order. So, yeah.
I think that'd be $2. But I may be wrong. You got something. We got.
It's still in the early stages.
Yeah.
You get money off regardless.
Yeah,
you get money off.
Basically
Yes.
free money. Shop
Yes.
on the website.
Yep. And you can redeem the points there.
The more you spend, the more you get off.
Oh, some people, I no doubt have at least like $60, $70 worth of points unused. So definitely check that out.
Click that little pink icon at the bottom right of your screen when you're on the website.
Then you can redeem points.
We also have another question that says, how do you guys define success at MCB?
I would define success as being open every day. No, I would say success though is definitely like there's a rewarding, feeling here at MCV. Coming here every day, being able to serve people each and every day. Definitely at the end of the day, there's so many clothes in the world, but we have people who shop with us, and that's just a blessing in itself. So I would truly say definitely just being here and being able to serve everyone here in Nashville and beyond would be my success. So, yeah. Sorry if that was very cornball, but that is the truth.
Yep.
Dang.
That's what I got for you.
Yep. All right.
Any other in the chat?
Someone
How
says
about the
more
crowd?
bigger sizes when y'all drop merch. I was bummed that the new size fitted had sold out so fast.
Yo,
No, 100%.
Yeah.
Size 8s.
I didn't
Boy, y'all
understand
went
that.
crazy. Dreadheads went crazy.
I didn't understand it. I actually never, we used, the first couple of once again, it's the great part to help. So this is a great thing. So when we first got 8s, or when we started first doing our hats, we couldn't sell 8s. We couldn't find anyone with 8s. But now, off this recent collection, we've realized that we have a lot of people shopping for size 8s. So we definitely hear you. We didn't see the numbers until recently, but there will definitely be an uptick in size 3/4 and size 8s going forward. Absolutely.
Any other questions from the chat?
How about the crowd?
Any questions from our live studio audience?
Diamond, go ahead.
I don't know, you kind of answered this, you kind of didn't. What's it like being full-time, self-employed? What's it like?
Stressful. It's great.
What was that question?
Uh,
A little hard.
Oh, the question was, what is it like being full-time self-employed? Which I think for a lot of people that are trying to jump into vintage, there's so many different vendors and stores now. That's a pretty valid question.
Very.
Shit, how do you do taxes? Not a
no person. Get a tax person. Taxes is important. Number one rule. Probably first year, we learned, make sure you know taxes. Check your taxes, pay your taxes. Yeah.
That's actually quite sad. It actually brings tears to my
That's important. People need to know.
Very important.
Yeah.
Very overlooked.
What else?
But yeah, how does it feel?
Feels great. Feels stressful. You know, work-life balance is it's a huge struggle that you will do if you are a full-time working independently. But it's just very rewarding because you know you always will feel like your work is for something and not just like I'm just working for a company that doesn't care about me type thing. So it's nice.
Yeah, it's tough for sure. But it is very rewarding. It is definitely tough to like constantly do it. And like I said, like there's times where you don't see the growth or you don't see things when you're inside of it. So it's like it's definitely interesting because at the end of the day, a lot of it's trial and error, of course. Like there's just like we try things and sometimes they don't work. Sometimes they do work. Sometimes they get you in front of Drake. I don't understand, but it's like one of those things that like you just never know what can happen each and every day. And yeah, it's just one of the blessing to be able to do it full time and like definitely not taking it for granted. So
Somebody asked, they said, what are your new additions to the shop that you guys have that are new? And then, is there going to be any more soccer in the future? Those are our two questions.
yeah. My bad. I saw the lip. I was like,
Just said yes.
I got so we got a couple of different things coming up as far as new additions. We just did today. We just got a new boot selection. We're partnering with Unsung House, and they're providing us with some boots and loafers for the upcoming season. I feel like it's kind of one of those things like in streetwear and also in like what we do. We feel like there's not really a lane here in Nashville that does like that type of boot wear along with sneakers and vintage clothing. That's what we got. So it brings something unique and something different, and also too, I love loafers. Not a boot guy yet, but you know, you
Cowboy
definitely-
Carter drops though. I'm gonna catch you in the.
could be going crazy, but that's a new addition. We'll definitely be seeing some more soccer jerseys for sure. We definitely don't want to flood the market with it, but I could definitely see us doing a restock of it. And yeah, we got some merch coming out. We got some fun stuff. Hopefully a women's vintage vendor here in the near future will be another addition, and yeah.
Yeah, got a lot of cool stuff coming.
Anything else I've missed for our additions?
We got new in-house merchandise coming in the near future. Some collabs potentially in the near future. Can't say with who, but
Yep.
you know.
The chat just asked, what is y'all's best story from the flea market? From back when y'all were selling at the flea market.
That's
Might
a
have been
couple.
like a good come up y'all had, might have been a customer y'all met, might have been, just a good time you had, might have been a beer with the guy Hal at the flea market,
I feel like there's always a fun thing when bad things happen to you. They're always like the best memories to keep.
They're learning opportunities.
They're learning opportunities.
There you go.
I'll say the first time we went to the flea market, we learned very quickly that you can't do it, or you can do it, but you shouldn't do it with one tent. So I would imagine. So we had one tent for the day, and we had a 10 by 10. So I think a parking spot. I guess that's 10 by 20, something like that. Anyways, but we had a parking spot, and we had only one tent, so we could either choose to put the tent over us or over the clothes for people to shop. We decided to put the tent over people so they could shop. We got sunburned the entire weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then our Walmart racks proceeded to break. So that was no fun, and it was awful at the same time, but fun. We gave a lot of steals, a lot of wheeling and dealing. We didn't have no price tags. There was a lot of $20 stuff that we'd probably sell now for like $300. But we went out there and had a great time and got a little sunburnt. But we strapped back up, got another 10, and did it again the next month.
Build character.
It built a lot of character. Got some new racks. So
Probably my favorite memory. it's a terrible memory, but it's on video. So, is that in this same parking spot, after we learned about getting new tents, having 2 tents, so everything is covered. We're covered, clothes are covered. Then you learn about what this nice, beautiful thing called inclement weather is. And when I tell you, it was raining so hard. And we were just sitting out here in the middle of a parking spot with clothes, with nowhere to go. It was either just sit here and hunker down with and just arm around the rack, just what do we do until it's either A, stops raining, or B, we didn't really have a plan B, to be honest with you. And that also taught you how to have a plan B. So we're just out here taking mad dashes of racks into side. And from after that, we learned we're going to stay inside. We're going to get a booth inside since we sell clothes.
That's when Justin and Trey decided to open a store.
It was close. It was close. We went into Wilson Hall for a little bit, and we chilled there for a minute.
Yeah, y'all were in the hall when I met you.
I know. The Wilson Hall came the spot. That would became like the vintage spot before there was vintage stores.
Yeah.
I remember it was us, Black Shag, Natural Dry Goods, Relic was in there. There was a lot of different vintage people before there's stores. There wasn't many stores. I think there might have been 1, maybe 2, but I don't even think they were in our lane at that point. Not cocky lane, but just our aesthetic.
Yeah.
But they wasn't really our aesthetic, and so that Wilson Hall definitely became the pillar of vintage. I felt in Nashville for a good minute.
How did you guys decide to open a store? When did that come about?
We had been doing it for so long without a store. And one day Trey put it on Instagram story to just put it out and say, hey, we're looking for a store potentially. Where would y'all like to see us? North, south, east, west. Most people chose south and east. And then Zach hit us up to basically say, hey, we have this open spot in the tattoo shop. And we went to see it, loved it. And then we signed the lease and we didn't have the down payment. So we had to come out with $3,600 and we didn't have it, but we signed the lease and we got it done. So we decided then that we opened the storefront and did it with $5,000 total.
And the rest was history.
I don't know, the rest was a lot through some rough terrain history. But yes, it was history.
A lot of windy days.
Yep. A lot of good days though, but it could be a lot of rough days.
Like Trey said, bet on yourself.
Type.
On yourself.
Music City teaches you guys to bet on yourself. Let's see. We don't have any other questions.
Go ahead, Diamond.
Stop saying my name.
Oh, go ahead, audience member. My bad.
Okay, I have a question. What was it like going from a very tiny storefront to this big storefront? How do y'all how did y'all know that y'all can build this up? Were y'all scared?
Should you rephrase that question?
I think to rephrase the question, I think it's how was the transition of going from such a small space to now you have a massive space with an event center, and how did you know how to fill it?
Yeah, we did. It was a big space. It was a huge space that we didn't anticipate. And the build out took a little bit longer than we expected. So I feel like when we first got here, the space was more empty. This was definitely quite the step forward into it. I think even then we had maybe 10 shoes on the wall. So that was definitely different, but we knew that we needed to expand prior to the tornado. We had become just so enclosed and so tight that we just couldn't operate. So we had at least planned for it, and we had some stuff in storage when the tornado happened. So we pulled a lot of that stuff out, and of course the stuff that we recovered during the time, and really just kind of went with it. And we're very much grow with it, not day one, this is it, this is how it's gonna stay forever. We're very much just let's add pieces as we go. I feel like that's still a motto and a thing that we still do today. So, yeah. I think it's a great question.
Always evolving.
Always evolving. Especially this year. Cool. Wow.
Go ahead, audience member.
What? Out of all the names, why did y'all choose Windy City Vintage for y'all name?
Damn. I feel like I'm talking a lot.
You on a roll?
I'm on a roll. We it was a 3 collective thing at first. Most of our names had something to do with Music City in it. So it just made sense to collaborate and make it Music City Vintage as a whole. And it just made total sense to do Music City Vintage, really. So, yeah.
We got a question in the chat. It says, I feel like you guys have gone beyond being a vintage store. Do you or can you do events with local fashion designers or those looking to pursue fashion design?
I agree. This is kind of part of the sunset thing in a way. It is a tough thing where our name is perfect for what we did and what we do, but it's not good as far as limiting our options, right? There's more things that we do other than vintage, but on another note, there's definitely ways that we can definitely curate and do things with different fashion designers and things like that in Nashville. And I definitely think there's a lot of established ones that's really dope. But it's one of those things also too, we definitely want to see that people are putting the work in. We hear these people's names and it's not just, hey, I just started making clothes yesterday. Put me in your store. So we want to see people put in the work. We want to see people that are out here doing their thing. And that doesn't mean that they have to have 10,000 followers to be in Music City Vintage. But we just definitely want to see that people are putting in the effort, putting in the work, and and reaching out to us and letting us know hey, I would love to do some work with you all, as we usually respond to it. So yeah. And then we also have Shop My Closet, so that allows people to kind of do their own individual thing, where people can come here once a month or maybe more, depending on how many people we have, and they can basically shop their closet. So it highlights the individual rather than a business or designer, things of that nature. So, yeah.
Clark Brown asked, did the Drake vocals come in yet?
Not yet, but they're on the way. Callie told us to tell you, Clark, we'll give him your email.
Not a question in the chat, but a question from me. What did Drake smell like? We're getting a lot of Drake questions.
What does Drake smell like?
We're getting a lot of Drake questions in the chat.
Canada maple syrup.
He smelled like money. That's what we got from the crowd.
All right. Anyways, moving on. Any other questions from the chat or from the audience? No further questions. Any questions from Justin or Trey, currently for the audience? Or for each other?
Well, wasn't anticipating that. No.
Cool.
All right.
If you're currently on the live right now, just send us a message with something that you took away from this. That's it.
There you go. I thought you were gonna say, I'll give you a discount or
I
something.
didn't say I don't know. I didn't give you a discount.
But we do appreciate the
If
feedback.
it's a good question, I'll give you a discount or a good statement.
Good statement.
Good thought out statement.
Yeah.
You
Do I
just-
get a discount?
I don't know. That's an anonymous audience member, so I don't know.
Doesn't work. It's not a friend of
I
family.
think this is
discount.
getting really off the rails now.
Yeah. So I think on that note, we'll end it here.
Yeah.
We'll take some of that feedback and kind of apply it going forward, and just stay tuned for what's next for us. And keep giving us feedback, keep reaching out, and see you on the next one.
Dope. Peace.